Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here, once again. Right, I never do this, do I? I don't actually make videos talking about games that I have opinions on anymore. Well, you know what? I just finished Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is a game that has come out for the Nintendo Switch 2, and like it was only revealed like 3 months ago, and in the 3 months that we've known about this game's existence, I was just like, the game just captured me, alright? I'm just like, it was love at first sight. I was like, I need that game, I need to play it, I need to switch to it. Like, in that launch period, I got to play this. Well, I just finished it there. I got the true ending, I guess, where you have to like do all the challenges at the end, and you get like the different ending and whatnot. Gotta say, really liked it. Really liked it indeed. So, I'm gonna ramble into this camera for who fucking knows. I actually need to be out of here in like half an hour. So, let's just sit here and ramble for at least half an hour about Donkey Kong Bonanza, shall we? Okay, so, let's, I've actually just got this right here. I'm just gonna like rapid fire through what I guess are considered like the main series Donkey Kong game, just to get like my views on that out of the way. Donkey Kong Country. This one, I'm still on the fence if this is still my favorite. Okay, this is a really like special game for me. It was one of the first games I ever got for the SNES when I had it. One of my favorite consoles of all time. One of my favorite games for the console, and it's the one that like, it's the only one in the trilogy, the original trilogy, that I have like, that I feel like nailed it. Like I don't know. Let me just. We're gonna rapid fire. Here's here's Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. If you were to ask me, okay, like, if we were to have a discussion about what I think, what anybody thinks is some of the most, like, overrated games ever, kind of, right? Like, I don't know, like, maybe I was just way too attached to the first one when I sat down to play this. I first played it on the fucking, like, Wii Virtual Console, you know, that was how far back it was. Never finished it, it just didn't grab me. I don't know what it was. I have since, like, beaten it, but I beat it on like Nintendo Switch Online and abused the rewind feature, so I don't think I finished it like properly. I actually remember beating it and being like, that was cheating. I need to sit down and do this properly. And you know what? I'm going to sit down and do it properly. I'm going to like see if there was something with this game that I didn't see before, because in anticipation for Donkey Kong Bonanza, Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, is that what it's called? Yes, it is. I actually played this for the first time, and I learned my lesson. I played it on like real hardware, and I had quite a blast with it. I thought, okay, this is actually really, really good, and I think I can get that feeling if I play Diddy's Conquest proper. But you know, it's a fun game. I think it's the best looking one, quite frankly, out of all the Super Nintendo games. There's a few like annoying levels at the end, but you could say that about any of the games, so it is what it is. But yeah, I think at present, the original trilogy, I'd probably rank them like 1, 3, and 2. But again, I need to like replay 2. Donkey Kong 64. Not really played this properly. I probably put like a few hours of it back into it like back in the day, but I started having like all the same opinions everybody else has about this game. You know, switching between the Kongs is like exhausting. But it's coming. It got leaked apparently, and it's going to be coming to Nintendo Switch Online soon. And I'm gonna be dedicated to like finishing it there. Okay, I'll mark my words. I will do it. I promise. And then moving away from where we've got like Returns, broad 2D platformer, a bit of a slow burn for me though, because I replayed it like years later, and that was when I truly started to like it. It was the motion controls, man. Like on this original version, you know, since it's been re-released a couple of times, but this is the only one I've actually played, and I got behind it eventually. But at the time, the motion controls had me just seething, man. I was just like, what have you done to my baby here, right? And lastly, we have Tropical Freeze Wii U version. Holy shit, I have it on the Switch as well, which is the better version. But this was just like Donkey Kong Country's Returns, but you didn't have to waggle, and it was a lot better. Probably my second favorite behind the first Donkey Kong game. Okay, so that's that. That's my sort of history with the franchise. Like I said, it's very, it's really like been on my mind recently. You know, Donkey Kong's like, you know, place in the Nintendo, I guess, hierarchy. You know what I mean? Because you gotta imagine, Donkey Kong, you know, that original arcade game, which is shite to play these days. I tried it. It's just, you just can't go back to it. Sorry. But that's got to be, historically speaking, probably the most important game ever. You get what I mean? Because that was the game that made Nintendo the game company, alright? Miyamoto wanted to make like an arcade game, he wanted to make like a Popeye game, they couldn't get the rights to it, then he wanted to make like a King Kong game or something like that, couldn't get the rights to that, so he was like, fuck it, I'll just call it Donkey Kong then, and the rest is history. So it's really cool that they're basically taking their biggest team, okay, their best team, the guys that made like Super Mario Odyssey, alright? They're getting them to like, surely they were working on the Mario game at the same time. Anyway, they got them to do this, and do it they did, and it's really good. Okay, it's really good. And I think one of my favorite things about it is how much of Rare's DNA is in this game. Okay, so many of Rare's characters, you know, like even down to like random characters that are just inanimate objects with googly eyes are like in the game. You get what I mean? Because there was always like the rumor for years about how does Nintendo kind of like resent what like Rare did with Donkey Kong, you know, like redesigning him and all that, you know, did they always want to take it back into Japan? And maybe they did, and you know, maybe there was a few pelters thrown Rareware's way in Japan, you know, like over the past 3 decades, but this is the first time where you feel like, okay, not only are they, I mean, the fucking retro studios duology here, these games feel like they were told that, okay, you're going to make a game in the wake of the Rare trilogy, and you're not going to do much beyond that. You're going to make sure that people who play this recognize, oh, it's a new Donkey Kong game, cool. Whereas Bananza really feels like it's trying like a lot of new shit, but again, it really embraces that Rare spirit. Like, even down to the fact that, you know, like, you get the ooh banana sound, okay? Like, that's so cool. Okay, that's so cool. All right, so that makes me happy. All right, but then of course you have like the fact that they brought in like you know, Pauline as well. You know, Pauline is a character. You know, she was in that. Okay, I've spent too much time, guys. I've spent too much time thinking about this. Okay, I know everybody's all pissed off about it. I've not engaged too much, but like everybody else, I've thought about it. It's like, what if they do that? And it's like that. Whatever. Pauline's here. She's 13. That's it. That's you will accept it. All right. But that's obviously like a character that had been there since the beginning in the original Donkey Kong. She showed up here and there in like the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games, but her presence was very limited. It wasn't until Super Mario Odyssey and they kind of gave her a decent sized role in that game that I'm sure a lot of people were introduced to her for the first time. And I knew who she was, obviously, but it was just like, wow, she's like really just, you know, coming in with the gang here. And with this game, you know, she's obviously like it's the Wreck-It Ralph dynamic, you know, big, strong guy with like a wee lassie sort of like clinging to his shooter sort of thing, and it's a nice dynamic, you know. It sells for a reason, you know. It's gives you the feels to witness their relationship and all that. Probably the reason why they made our way in the first place, but there you go. But I guess this is like Pauline's big debut back, you know, because again, even with Odyssey, is like as much as her role there, it's not that her role in Odyssey was significant, but everybody remembers it. You know what I mean? The friggin' like sequence where she's singing that song, legendary. But here she's there for the entire ride, and yeah, it's like you probably could have had like a brand new character do this, and then we wouldn't all be like scrambling trying to figure out the fucking Donkey Kong and Mario timeline. But it's like making it Pauline. It makes the most sense, but also doesn't make sense at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously, it fucks with the timeline, but because of the historical like ties that she has to the franchise and to DK as a character, it kind of had to be her. And you know what? I'm glad that they kept the whole she's like a singer and stuff, you know, and music plays like a big part into the experience and all that. That's really cool. But have I talked about the actual game yet? I don't know. Yeah, the game is that you punch a bunch of stuff, alright? I think I just like games where you play as really strong dudes and you punch stuff, alright? Probably why I'm into Yakuza so much, because, I don't know, just like playing as this iteration of Donkey Kong, and yeah, he just wrecks the whole environment, okay? That it's just so satisfying to me. Okay, not just like obviously in combat when you're like taking down enemies, you get to punch them, but just like obviously like punching through the walls. It's not the first game to really like do this sort of like everything's destructible as the gimmick. I don't think I've ever played Red Faction, which I know was like the first game to really use that. The one I remember, I always think of as like Battlefield Bad Company. Yeah, that was it for the 360. That was a really good game. I played that back in the day, and you could like destroy a lot of shit in there. Yeah, and I remember like mucking about with it. But I guess this is the most impressive we've seen it? Question mark. Because yeah, you can punch through so many walls. You're gonna like find a wall that you can't punch through, and you're always gonna be like, it'll kill your buzz a little bit. But there's so much other stuff you can destroy, and it plays into the game. You have to like dig for shit. There's like objectives that you have to go through that involve just wrecking it. They do a lot with it. It's clearly like the main gimmick of the game, and it's a satisfying one, which is good. If the digging did not feel as good as it did, this game would not be as good as it is, quite frankly. All right, so thankfully they nailed that. And but yeah, structurally it's just like Mario Odyssey. You go through the different levels. Instead of moons, you're collecting Banandium gems, and there's like a set amount in each level. Interestingly, you don't actually need to collect a certain amount. I don't think you did. You could actually just follow like the story path, and you would get like bananas as you went on. But you weren't like, okay, you need this many bananas in order to advance. That's not a problem for me, because I will go for a level for hours trying to find as many bananas as I can before I'll advance, But I imagine for some people when they're playing Mario Odyssey, it's like, oh, you need this many moons. They're just like, okay. But no, here you can just breeze right through it if you want, and that's pretty good. That's a good thing. But yeah, and what else can we talk about? I guess like the music in general, because obviously with like the. Actually, I will say this. I didn't think the music was amazing. Like, I don't know. I don't really remember too many of, like, the level songs. There was some remixes. I definitely remember those. And the Pauline songs were also really good. The main theme was, like, Breaking Through. Yeah, that's it, Breaking Through. That's incredible. And, also the songs that she sings during, like, the Bananza transformations, which I haven't talked about yet, but they're cool. They're cool. Those are really catchy as well, especially the zebra one. The zebra one's the best. I could not get that out of my head for a long time there. But yeah, I don't know if it's obvious yet or not, but I actually think this was quite a bit better than Mario Odyssey. That's going to be the comparison everybody's going to make. Because, like, I played for Mario Odyssey when I got the Switch 2. It was one of the first things I did, because it was one of the games that got, like, the patch, and so I just decided to sit down and give it a go, playthrough again, because I hadn't played it since it came out back in 2017. This is a common criticism that the game has gotten over the years, but there is definitely a lot of fluff in Mario Odyssey. There's so many moons that probably like didn't need to be there. Like, I played it enough to get the actual like proper ending, okay, which I didn't get back in the day. Which I was glad to do, but I could not be fucked going for 100%. Oh god, it was just the idea of like, all that shit with Toadette, just like having to buy every costume just so that you could find the random NPC that wanted you to do the actual like to wear that costume and they'll give you a moon. There's so much gumph in that game. I'm glad you don't need to get like I don't even know if you get something special for getting like every single moon, but I didn't go for it, and I really don't think I'll be bothered. And this game's the same. I got enough bananas without even really thinking about it, to be honest. I had enough bananas to like do all of the like end game stuff, because that's the only time where the game does give you a certain you need this many bananas to advance. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go back and get everything. I don't know if you unlock something else or if there's anything else cool you can see. I'm sure I'll research that on my own and figure it out. But suffice to say, I think this is going to be a game that I come back to like fairly often. All right, this is yeah, it was special. It was definitely like a special game. Okay, it's great. Like the Switch 2's like a lifespan has started out like strongly like this, because I thought Mario Kart World's all right. It's a Mario Kart game that happens to be open world. It's whatever. But really, my Switch 2 has just been like a machine to play Switch 2 games like better. Like I think I'm gonna play for Breath of the Wild again, for example, now that this is done. and see that in like its blissful, lovely, like shiny 4K and all that. But this was this is probably, if you consider the entire Switch library and you add in like all the Switch 2 games we've had so far, this is probably in my top 5 Switch games. All right, that's how friggin' like crazy good this game was for me, and it's definitely like my game of the year so far, 100%. Yeah. I didn't get to half an hour. We're only at 15 minutes. Is there anything else I could brag about? Oh, I did buy this. Oh god, look at this. I did buy the fucking amiibo. Alright. I was having a few cans and I saw it on Nintendo's store, which was the only place you could buy it. You can't get it on Amazon, so I was just like, fuck it. And I'll tell you a story, right? So, I go to it, and it's in the packaging, and you know, folk like to think that, oh, I want to keep it in the packaging, you know, there's that bit of the brain that just does that, you know what I mean? And Nintendo, at least they did this with the Smash Brothers amiibo, they put like a little sheet of aluminium underneath the base in the packaging. This was so that you couldn't scan it while it was still in the packaging, which ticked off a lot of collectors. So I guess they stopped doing that because I didn't see it and I tried scanning it and it scanned. I was like, oh shit, maybe I could keep it in the packaging. But it didn't unlock the Pauline like diva dress, you know, the dress that she's wearing during her concert in Super Mario Odyssey, which by the way is the best costume in the game by far, because it's the only costume where Pauline's got fucking shoes on, right? But anyway, yeah, if you scan a Donkey Kong series amiibo, you get like the golden Kong letters that explode, you know. But yeah, that's what I got. I was like, why aren't I getting the diva dress? So I was thinking, hold on. So I opened it. I opened it thinking, is something wrong here? Do I need to scan it closer or something? And it did the same thing. So I YouTubed it or Googled it or whatever, and I found out that you have to go talk to a specific NPC in order to unlock the dress. I was like, okay, that's weird. But in the process of learning that, I also learned that you can unlock the dress at the end of the game. You don't have. It wasn't plastic DLC. I didn't have to spend 20 swining quid on this to get it. I kind of wanted it anyway. It's like cool. It's a really cool amiibo. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know. That made me feel a bit sour. You know, the fact that I bought it and you could just pretty much like half the reason I bought it, which was to get the dress, is unlockable in game anyway. But well. Anyway, yeah, this game was good. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I think that's me. Hopefully I do some more of these, but for now guys, yeah, that's me. See you after. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.